You see that? This is a rope with an anchor. It's good enough to move your way forward, and the rope is a little bit of help. I'm making this video for one of my friends. She says she's stuck. She's bouncing in between depression, anxiety, wondering about her career, trying to stay fit, trying to eat healthy, trying to keep up with all the demands of life. Very independent, very smart. But life is not so easy. And if you're not sure, even if you're doing the thing that you want to do, that's tough. If I'm walking along on my journey and ordinary things happen, there's brambles on the ground, there's things to stumble over, there's winds, there's rain, and there's stuff that'll slow you down. And it hits everybody. That's life. And the people that just keep on going and keep on excelling at the gym, good routines, they're a great friend, they're always happy. It's not because it's easier for them. It's not because they're privileged. It's I think it's about at least one thing is having a mission that you really believe in. And maybe you're in the middle of a career that you thought you believe in. Maybe you're in the middle of a career that a training or something that's costing you some sacrifices, money, time, and you're dedicating yourself. You're halfway through it. You're not sure if you should give up, and you're not sure when, as you try to convince yourself, but I've come so far, you have too many doubts piling up. And then what you need, what I found that I need, is I need this rope. I can't push myself at that stage. I can't keep on going. And the reason is, yeah, every day I get a little bit of energy. Every day there's the motivated person inside of me, the loving person, the energetic or smart person, and there's all the other ones. There's the David that's not sure, and the David that is seeing myself wasting time, and that's not seeing progress. The only way for me is having a direction. Direction's really hard because there's no title, job position in life that can do that for you. So let's say in the case of my friend, she's studying a certain topic. It's aligned with her values, so she should be fully motivated, right? She got a new opportunity that's even better than where she is now, and she's going to be a researcher in food science. It's food safety, microorganisms, and so forth. When she describes what she wants in life, and she describes that job, that training, college, it all lines up. It's like, I value helping people, and I want to do that through industry. I value working with a team, and I have this team of brilliant people with me. I value staying healthy, and I'm cooking for myself. So it all should work out, right? What's the problem? But each of those values can take you a step to the side. Well, this week I'm going to cook for myself, and instead of going directly in the original path, now I'm going a little step this way. I value time with friends, but in order to go to the gym, I'll have to skip the hour with friends. So I value this, and now I'm off to the side. And I value this. I value having a romantic relationship, so I take time out of my schedule. Oh, and now I'm an hour behind on studying. So your values all are valid, but they can diverge from one another. And you can get so exhausted on that path that it doesn't look like a straight line. You have enough energy to keep on making it, but no one has enough energy to go when it's not a straight line. So what is that anchor? Okay, first of all, let's not kid ourselves. There's no such thing as a straight line in life, but the anchor really is achievable with a good goal. And you might have thought, well, my goal was already defined. It was to earn this PhD. But you have many goals in your life. You may be making more sacrifices than you expected, and your energy may be low because you're doubting whether you want the thing that you said you wanted a year ago, 2 years ago, as you make more and more sacrifices. And it's carrying you. What's happening is you're sidestepping. In order to get the thing that you said you wanted, you're taking these steps away from that side of the line, which was more time with family, more time with friends, more self-development. It could be any other trade-offs. And all this sidestepping is exhausting. So in order to set that anchor, you need to really think about the goal before you start and the reasons that you're doing it. Which parts of the goal will you nail with perfection, and which ones you will let them be minimal. Magnificent thing about the goal is that no matter which way you move, north or east, that rope can point you generally back towards it. It's at least easy enough, but the you in January is not smart enough to trick the you in February or March. So if that goal isn't worthwhile, February, March, April, later on you will start noticing. You're saying this one's not worth it. So how do you set a goal that's going to stay worth it? Well, worth it is a combination of factors. All the factors in life keep on changing. That's trouble. But there's some stuff inside of you that doesn't change. There's some stuff inside of you that was what you believe is your essence. Maybe it's a partially developed part of you that you're destined to continue developing. So just like starting a degree or a business or starting a marriage, you should really think about what reasons are you pursuing that are completely unique to why people get married, why people do a degree. You should know the reasons and be able to link that directly to something inside of you that will stay the same. So you might have a question, well, this degree is getting kind of weird, the colleagues are challenging, maybe I should switch, because my value was I want to be able to help people in the world, and this other option I will also be able to help people in the world. So why have I chosen this one? You protect yourself from those questions if you set your goal as they are linked to your own personal values, the ones that you're pretty sure are still going to be the same in 5 years, 10 years. And then in order to do that, you have to know yourself. And then that means you need to know the pieces of you. So what are your values as you would describe them? I heard a TikTok, somebody said, tell me who you are without saying your gender, your age, your occupation, and we'll swiftly get directly into a deep conversation, because that's the stuff that's who you are. You can have an auto mechanic and another auto mechanic, and they're put into the same box by the words we use and by society, but they could be completely different people, and they could be there for different reasons. So knowing yourself, that's a whole mission. One mission, casting that anchor out to where you want it to go. Before you cast it, you need to know yourself. And to know yourself is not an easy mission. Usually really tough challenges in life is that's how you figure out who you are. But I think there's some tricks. This is an exercise that I stumbled into while I was struggling really hard. Every month's a struggle, but I was struggling hard. And so this is kind of how it looked. It was like values. Keep it broad, keep it simple. Generosity. knowledge growth. What if you could only put 3? Keep it very simple. Efficiency. Like even recycling is efficient. So then, all right, so you have some values. Then we have, we'll call it guides. What does it look like when you mix generosity and knowledge growth? Well, that would be something like teach as you learn. Teach as I learn. And what does it look like when you're efficient and you're growing your knowledge? Maybe that is like keep notes and even maybe keep notes to share. Okay, so how do these map? Knowledge growth, these go here. Then we have efficiency. It helps us keep a record that we could refer back to instead of redoing things. And this one's even, all 3 of those mapped there. Okay, then we have, you could say, what do you call yourself? I'm an engineer. But this is where we want to break open the box. It's not, I'm not the same as any other engineer on the planet, so this isn't a good enough description. What are the things that I'm doing right now? An open source project, let's say open source development. What are your activities? And was something else that I'm doing right now. I'm keeping a food routine. Then now it's time to try to remember how this all came together. These ones are not defined well enough, nor are these, but this one is your values, and this is where you are right now. And this column, shoot, I lost my paper. I kept the note, but it's, I tried to find it very quickly and I couldn't. Values, God. Oh, it was, what does it look like if we cross-pollinate these things? So if I'm teaching as I learn and I'm keeping notes to share, what does that look like? And we would describe it. If we're generous, that means we're gonna give. This is detailed, it's like breakdown. It's what do the values mean? Because this is too general, and this is, all right, be specific. What does it mean to be generous? That means we're gonna give to strangers. And we're going to give to family. We're going to say, okay, this is what generosity means. We're not cross-pollinating yet. We're just saying, how do you define this stuff? This one is learning every month. This one is don't waste fuel. Whatever it means to you, you're just breaking this down into, say, 2 or 3 parts each. And don't worry about what you're doing right now or what your activity is. Just keep it simple and take it straight from the heart. Don't analyze if it's right. This is for you, not for anyone else. That's when you say, what happens when we cross-pollinate these? What does it look like? Well, if I give to strangers and I teach as I learn, then it might be like publication each month, educational. We can easily start producing actions. We'll call this the guide. It could be a rule, it could be an action, but it's instead of an action is something you can complete and then it's done. Whereas a rule is, this is how we operate, this is how I operate. And a guide is a rule with you where you've subtracted the failures and consequences, and not fulfilling the rule is a bad thing. Not fulfilling the guide is just a gap where you're waiting to discover how to implement that process. It's the guide is the rule that doesn't have a wrong, it just has a right. It has a I haven't done it yet. So then don't waste fuel and keep notes. Well, let's call this don't waste commodities, and we'll say, well, then we're going to digitize our content. Then you could easily produce a couple dozen of these in the guide. What does it look like when we do the things that describe the breakdown of our values? Then the mapping part. Map it to your life. So these are the things that you do. These are the things you're currently doing. Don't let that stuff influence what you're listing here as the major parts of your life. And then you're going to say, well, shoot, part of my food routine is actually the digitized content, because I keep a spreadsheet of my macronutrients or something. My grocery list is digitized and it's helping me to eat properly. So then this last column really doesn't matter, because you're essentially crossing this out and you're saying, I'm a person who and the stone, the cinder block that we threw across the yard, that's the person that does it great. And you are a person who does it as a starting point, who's trying, who's on the journey. That row is your values mapped to who you are. Then I really believe, like, should I change my major? Should I quit my job? That matters so much less than knowing why you're doing what you're doing. You can find enough reasons to keep on doing that. You can use this map to find enough reasons to do what you're doing, or you could use this map to find enough reasons to make an adjustment. But this saves you from making a change that is just to run away from stuff you don't like. Your job is like, I work in this facility, it has smokestacks. I don't like the efficiency, I don't like the colleagues. You're saying, this isn't part of my values. I'm depressed because where I'm spending my time, when I'm living in the moment, that moment's not in my value collection. And so this isn't right. I better change. But that's a running away. That's, who knows where the rope is and where the anchor is if you're running away from what you're doing right now. And we all need to make changes. Those changes can be running away from something or running towards something. And this is just what helped me. And you might build some confidence just seeing how many arrows, because you'll have all these bubbles and you'll be like, wow, the stuff that I'm doing is incredibly, it's like all of these actions are getting fed into what I'm doing today. You might just build a lot more confidence in exactly what you're doing right now. Hopefully that's helpful.